Panchakarma is a series of 5 treatments that are used for healing, for bringing balance back, and for longevity. The Panchakarma treatments are part of Ayurveda that originated in India over 5,000 years ago. And it is still practiced in some parts of India, and now it's being practiced in many places around the world. Panchakarma is an incredibly powerful therapy because it is a cleansing type treatment, but there is a preparation that takes place to get ready to release toxins from the body. So that preparation is done with various types of oils, depending on the individual, and you oleate the body externally and internally to prepare to be able to release toxins from the deeper tissues that I know of no other approach that is able to do this. What happens as a result of that is not only healing of illnesses and problems, but there's a rejuvenation and almost a reversal of aging that takes place. And then for some people, that actually does happen. And there are some specific practices to even enhance that. But most of all, people feel an incredible clarity of mind, and there is an expansion of oneself. Most other cleanses only clear the digestive tract. In other words, so whatever's going on in the digestive tract at that moment is what will be taken out. And that certainly will have people feel better temporarily. It doesn't have the depth that Panchakarma offers. Many people will notice after Panchakarma, for example, that their body is less stiff, that they have more flexibility and they feel more freedom in the body. Colon cleanses are something that actually cause more dryness. If you're washing out the colon using a lot of enemas and large quantities of liquid, no matter what kind it is, they will actually contribute to problems with constipation, and the constipation will continue, and it causes more dryness in the colon, which will then aggravate the Vata dosha, aggravate parts of us and cause more symptoms. So again, those kinds of treatments give you short-term relief, but in the long run, they're not addressing the root cause of the problems. There are therapies that are done for relieving kapha dosha, which causes a lot of mucus in the head, the chest, and the lungs. And so that's one of them. Symptoms such as acid indigestion or acid reflux, heartburn, those will be relieved completely. Now, these treatments will give you the relief, but then what you're doing in life also has to change in order not to cause the problem again. But the Panchakarma treatment will realign the body. Additionally, those who suffer from constipation or excessive gas, the Panchakarma treatments will then help to relieve that and recondition the colon so that those symptoms don't come back. Other things that get cleared up are skin problems of many, many types. And sometimes some people will need treatment twice in a year, even if there are some significant problems. But symptoms such as eczema and psoriasis, oversensitivity of the skin, and depression, anxiety, those are things that all are relieved dramatically with Panchakarma. I have had clients, one in particular I'm thinking of, a woman in her early 50s, and after doing the Panchakarma treatments over a period of only 1 week, which is actually quite short, but she was able to do that, and it made such a difference in the quality of her skin. She'd been having red rashes for unknown reasons for quite a while, and also her mental stability. And to this day, almost a year later, she still describes how her mental state changed so much from the Panchakarma treatments. And I've also had people who have been able to alleviate constipation. So I had one client, a young gal, only 19 years old, and she was able to relieve severe constipation and stop using laxatives on a daily basis. and is finding that her skin problems have all cleared up now and is feeling much more energetic in life. Panchakarma helps to bring the doshas back to their home. You know, each of the doshas has a residency or home in the body, and the kapha dosha being in the stomach, the pitta dosha being in the small intestines, and the vata dosha being in the colon or the large intestines. And when there gets to be an excess of it, imbalance in the system, then those doshas and their qualities leave home and start traveling to other places in the body looking for another home. And when they do that, that's when we get symptoms and then we get disease. So what Panchakarma does is calls them home. The home treatment is one that you can do on your own with our guidance. And so it's much, much less expensive. It can be a little more convenient because you don't have to leave home. And it is a very effective treatment for, again, detoxification and rejuvenation. It's particularly good for big shifts in life when you're really ready to make some changes. If someone is experiencing symptoms, it's especially helpful for clearing that up before it becomes something bigger. If you have a major disease, then it really depends on what stage you're in with that disease. We can't have people that are emaciated or weakened seriously by a disease. So what we like to do, rather than do the Panchakarma at that point, is to do different practices that will help them strengthen their digestive fire, their Agni, and rejuvenate the ojas to a point, their ojas being their life force and their immunity. Rejuvenate that to a point where they can be ready for the Panchakarma treatments. However, it is very, very helpful when someone is in the recovering phase, for example, recovering from cancer or recovering from a surgery or an injury. Then it can be extremely useful and helpful. So the home treatment is something that's done over a 10-day period. People do work sometimes part-time, but usually it's ideal if you're not working during that time or that you're able to keep things pretty calm with you. The program has a general outline, but then it's tailored to the individual's constitution and to your current state of imbalance. So certain practices might not need to be done for some people, and other people might need something extra. Sometimes some people need a little more oleation than others, so the quantity of oil that's used or the quantity of ghee that's used might vary slightly according to the individual. And then if there is illness or significant symptoms going on, then sometimes additional herbs are used to support the person through the change. Oleation is either taking oil into the body, such as taking ghee, or when you cook with it as well, there's a certain amount of oleation that takes place. It means bringing lubrication through oils into the body or on the body for the external oleation. And there we are using herbal oil so that we're getting herbs into the body that will help balance the doshas, as well as lubricating the skin and reconditioning the skin. Because it doesn't just go on the surface, it actually penetrates very deeply, and there are 6 layers in our skin. Yes, the most common ones that we use are something called virechana, and virechana is a purgation. So some either oil or herbs are taken specifically for the purpose of clearing out the small intestines. It's done at a very specific time of day so that the pitta dosha is active and supporting the process. And so it means that you'll be spending some time at the toilet for that process. And the process itself isn't very pleasant, honestly, but the results are excellent, and so sometimes it's a necessary thing to do that. But it's very specific in terms of the amount that you take and what's given to you in order for that process to be effective. And the preparation is also very important to have been done in advance, so that the body is ready to let go of those toxins and they're brought into the digestive tract. Another one is something called a basti. Now there are many types of bastis. Sometimes you'll see that spelled with a V as well. And a basti, sometimes people refer to it as an enema, but it's actually not an enema. It's an insertion of oil and/or an herbal decoction into the colon. It's not about quantity, it's actually a fairly small quantity. So it's not like an enema where it's trying to wash things out, but rather we want to put something in there and let it be absorbed in. Then there will be release, so you will also be spending a little bit of time at the toilet after that. But it's a very calming process for the Vata dosha. Some people are intimidated by the processes involved in Panchakarma. In particular, I know people concerned about basti. And the basti is not like an enema. Most people find it to be something that, once you get used to it, it's very soothing, actually. And you always have the support of the Hale Pule team through the process. So you'll be able to ask questions and talk over what happens. We are interested in hearing about what happens with you in each of the procedures. My personal experience with Panchakarma is that it was a time of tremendous introspection. It wasn't really obvious to me how, but by going through the preparation and then going through the actual treatments, there was a depth and a part of myself that I discovered. Afterwards, I was feeling like a new person, and my body felt much more flexible, which for me was a really great thing because I had a very stiff body. And then as I've continued to repeat that process over the years, it just gets better and better. We have a great diversity of clients that participate in the Panchakarma home therapy. It could be someone as young as teenage years, and someone in their 70s and 80s, if they're feeling strong enough, works very well. Most of the people that do it are anywhere from 20 to 70.